Hey guys, welcome to the English Shooting live stream here at English Shooting Magload HQ, Bluefield Sports, Gunroom TV HQ. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but I hope you're all very well. And well, I'm guessing you've all seen the latest news on the lockdown situation, but we're going to be talking about that in a bit. But as always, guys, let me know your questions and topics you want to talk about in the comment section below, and we'll chat about anything you want, anything you want to touch on, any advice on getting into shooting. Of course, that's what I'm all about, getting as many people into the sport as possible. Just a quick thank you to Xbox One Geeks, little donation there to the channel, thank you very much. I'm going to wait until I see there's someone that usually joins the stream. As soon as I see them pop up, there's something else. I've got a big thank you to say to someone quite special who's supported the channel quite a lot, and even more so recently. But yeah, let me know what's going on in your neck of the woods. But of course, the news now is that lockdown hasn't been lifted, but it's been reduced, and I saw there was a message from the Chief Police Association. Basically, it's where all the heads of police get together and sort of, I guess, liaise with each other and sort of talk about policy, this, that, and the other. So they've categorically said now that they class shooting as an outdoor sport. Who would have thought? And that everyone can now go out there as long as you're social distancing. So you're not allowed to go out with any more than one other person from a different household, and you have to stay 2 meters away from each other, obviously. And stuff like sharing guns, obviously you have to be careful about. You have to make sure that everything's going to be sanitary, so that's something to be aware of. But yeah, you can go shooting now. Also, the CPSA recently announced, basically saying, like, look, as the head of clay pigeon shooting, we don't see any issues with any grounds opening up and getting back into normal shooting. And I've seen grounds like South Downs, who are it's a big operation there. Whilst people can shoot, whilst people can go and enjoy their clay pigeon shooting again, some of the grounds, they're not ready for it. Obviously, there's a huge amount of changes, and we didn't know what state everything was going to be in when everything opened back up. So they they didn't want to get ready for something that changed by the time they were ready for. So I know that South Downs looked up and said, like, look, okay, we know what the goal is now. We know what we have to do, but we now have to go and do it. So I think they well, it's probably a week now, but they said it was going to take them 2 weeks to be able to get back up and running. And they said stuff as simple as the traps. They said they have like over 100 traps, probably even more, way more than that even. And they said, they had to bring, usually they leave a lot of them out, they had to bring them all in during lockdown because there wasn't going to be the staff there to be able to keep them safe from some light-fingered friends. And they basically said just putting out the traps is a huge undertaking. So it's going to take a little while for some bigger grounds to open up. But I don't know, let me know, have any of you been out shooting in the last week, making use of the lightened restrictions? We've been making use of it here. We've had a number of sponsored shooters down over the past week, sort of catching up with videoing, and Magload's going to have a fairly big announcement tomorrow with a new member of the team, but that's all I'm going to say on that. And yeah, so it's been nice to sort of see people again, get them down, get up to the range. We're very fortunate having the private range here. There's not anyone else about, so we go up in twos. We've got separate gators to get up there, so social distancing isn't an issue for us. We would like to be out there in bigger groups, but obviously we can't for the moment. And big thank you to Stephen Wolf. Let's get this party started. Very, very kind of you. Thank you very much, Stephen. You're a regular donator and supporter of the channel, so very much appreciated there. I've seen, my mum's here. Hi, mum. #1 fan yet again. So let's see what you guys are saying, what you're talking about. So Xbox One Geeks. Hope you're well. Love the new vids. Thank you very much. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of the new camera. Although I don't think I only think I've put 1 or 2 vids out with that with the new Sony that I've been going on about so much, but was only able to get it because of you guys. So again, a big thank you to all of you. Yeah, so let me know what you think of the new look, I guess, because it's a completely different camera, different lens, higher quality, so hopefully it's an improvement. If it's not, then I've wasted a lot of money. So I see Stephen Wolf was talking about the pigeon ban, or the seasonal shooting or licenses of pigeons out in the Republic of Ireland. So it's not something that I've looked greatly into. It's something that I do plan on making a video on in the near future, because it's fairly significant. It's ridiculous. It's something like we had with the general licenses being revoked. It was something that was working absolutely perfectly. There was not an issue to be seen with it, and then they interfered, and lo and behold, when they interfered, then you ended up with all of these issues. So it sort of does, I think, exactly the opposite of what they want to achieve. They think they're conservationists. They think they're doing good for the countryside and for wildlife, and they are doing the complete reverse. And I know there's been a lot of fears with COVID and all the lockdown restrictions about people getting out there and pest controlling. We saw it last year. We saw the results of what happens when people aren't able to do that. So it's greatly important that they can. And yes, there are highs and lows throughout the years throughout a year even with pigeons, but like you're saying, Stephen, it's something that really needs to be done all year round. Yeah, more important at certain periods of the year, but yeah, I can't comment on their rationale for doing it at the moment. I will do a lot more research. I know Field Sports Britain has covered it quite in depth, so if you do want any information short term on that, go and check that out. But if you're happy to wait, I'll get a video out as soon as I can. But I can pretty much guarantee it's not being thought out. It's a bunch of do-gooders thinking that they know best, and well, we all know what happens when do-gooders get involved. But Stephen's saying, yeah, hope they don't try that in the UK. Well, they did last year, of course. They did try to pretty much stop it indefinitely. They're always going to try things. I think really the proof is in the pudding. As soon as things start going tits up and they go, well, hang on a minute, everything was fine beforehand, and now we've interfered and everything has gone tits up. Oh, I wonder what could be the problem here, Let me just shut the window so it's a little quieter, although I'm sure Nala will face plant the window soon trying to get in. But my God, has it been hot today. We're actually out on the range earlier doing some filming with one of the maglo shooters, and I was absolutely sweltering. The sun, we stupidly went out at like midday, so sun was at its peak and it was bearing down. I feel absolutely drained. Managed to top up my tan though, so silver lining. But yeah, unfortunately in the office where we are, it gets quite toasty, and because of the noise, well, I've got to shut all the doors. So if I start getting a little wet, not in that way, well, you'll know why, because it's pretty toasty. Anyway, what are you guys talking about? What do you want to know? What questions do you have? I do have some things that I want to cover this evening, which I will get onto, but I like to always prioritize what you guys want to talk about. Loads of familiar names there. So thanks for joining. Everyone that's here, thanks for dropping by and being part of the conversation. Seeing Rack and Loads here. Hi Rack, or Neil, whatever you want to go by. Sony Handycam for you. Yeah. I'm sure. I mean, you were talking to me about your analytics, Neil. I'm sure you can afford to upgrade. Give your subscribers some full HD, or even some 4K. But if you want to help in picking some camera gear out, I'm more than happy to help. So Stephen Wolf's, that was abrupt, no music intro. Yeah, I've done this 2 weeks running now with the stream. So the way that it works is that I have sort of the stream software on my Mac, and then I have the online YouTube live studio. So I hit start stream on the software, and then it starts coming through on the on sort of your control panel on YouTube. And then usually by the time I've switched back to that, to click go, basically go live, I always see something and I'm like, oh, okay, I've just got to quickly, adjust that or adjust this. And then I completely forget to hit go live. So no build up this weekend, or this week even, just straight into it. Hope I'll get the hang of this live stream thing eventually, by which point we'll probably be back in the gun room and Alex will have full control, so the quality will improve. Either I'll learn or someone that knows what they're doing will actually do it. Just a quick question, actually. I always say to you guys, let me know what the quality's like with the audio and the video. For weeks and weeks, every time I start the stream, YouTube has been moaning at me like, you're in the wrong resolution, and it seems to work okay. So can you notice an increase in quality, or is it just the same old fuzziness? And no, not the beard I'm talking about. David Kiddle, is that hat made in China? Accusations. So of course I did make a post of this. It's a very exclusive bit of merchandise, this, because there is only one in existence, and it's the one on top of my head. But I actually got this as a sample. Excuse the lockdown hair. I really need to get to a barber's. But yeah, I got this primarily for myself, but as a sample, because I know there's a few of you that are interested in merchandise and hats like this, and I always feel better, like there's loads of you guys like to give donations on the stream, which I'm hugely grateful for, but I always like to give something back. So for me, it's a way, if I have various trinkets, either patches, I've got, it's actually from my own patch wall, so just little things that you can buy that help the channel, but you get something as well. So this hat is actually made in Bangladesh, David. So no, you were wrong. I'm not supporting the Chinese machine, the machine of China. It's made in Bangladesh. Just worldwide, global e-commerce. Flex fit. I love flex fit hats because no matter what happens. Oh look, we've got a friend. Where is she? There we go. There's Nala. Oh, she's gonna fall. There we go. Almost. Shall I let her in? Shall I stop being mean? Put that on. Yeah, I love flex fit hats. Come on, Nala. I really like them because I find them always comfortable. They always fit well. You're not always adjusting them. So yeah, this is sort of the style that I'm going to go for. There she is. Hello. At least I'm not alone now. So yeah, if you guys are interested, let me know. Unfortunately, she has a rather large tick on her face, so I'm not going to get too close to her as I normally would. All right, tick face, you're gonna leave me to it, or shall I pass you over? Who would you rather prefer hosted the stream? I mean, she's not very talkative, but she is pretty. Yes, she is. There we go. Anyway, I want that tick away from me. Go on, go up to your little spot, and let's shut the window because of the noise. Oh, yeah. If I didn't say, I'm absolutely knackered from today. Been a good day though. My Smith & Wesson 1522, of course, the most reliable 2.2 AR-15 you could buy, has been giving me issues recently. So we were out there the other day, and I was just doing some. Oh, actually, I was shooting. It's something I'm going to talk about. I was testing out the new Trijicon MRO HD. And I thought to myself, well, I'll put it on a rifle that I know inside and out, and then I'm not sort of thinking about the rifle. I can focus purely on the scope, and yeah, it just light strike after light strike after light strike, and I thought I thought it was still the original firing pin in there, so I thought, well, it's got to be an old firing pin. That gun's had tens of thousands of rounds. It was actually a Kentucky Firearms Club gun for a while, so it's had a lot of abuse from me and club members. So I thought, okay, well, I'll put a new firing pin in it. Got back to the gun room, and actually the firing pin was a new one, measured it, and what she did, she's sneaking up behind me. I've grown a tail. So basically, the new firing pin, even with a pair of verniers, like significantly shorter than the original. So I still stand by the fact that the 1522 is the most reliable AR-15 gun, AR-22 AR-15 that you can buy, if you don't play with it. I put a bloody good trigger, a CMC trigger in it, light strikes. I put a new firing pin in it, thinking that the old one's getting a bit knackered, light strikes. I put the original trigger and the original firing pin in there, perfect, not a single issue. So you can't win. But I've heard Connors has a few things in mind that might fix that going forward, so we have to wait and see. I've seen there's Nick from the World Gun Owners Association. Thanks for joining, Nick, good to see you. World Gun Owners Association, if you don't know, guys, is a big group on Facebook. So if you're interested in just general, international world gun owners chat, then go and check out the World Gun Owners Association. And what are you doing? Get off my camera bag. Oi. Now she wants to go out, out. I can't win with this one. Oh no, now she's going over there. She's been a real pest. She hasn't been in here all day. As soon as I go live, she wants to come and pester me. Typical, right? But yeah, let's see what you guys are talking about. What's going on? So we've got Black Guinea Pig. Indoor ranges are still an issue. Cambridge Target Shooting Association have announced they cannot confirm to Gov and NSRA guidelines, so no insurance is invalid. That's unfortunate. The same issue with my indoor club. So I did hear, well, I know that Phoenix up in Barnsley, I know that Glenn, the owner and operator there, he's trying absolutely everything, and I think he's just basically reading everything to the letter. So either as soon as he can, or maybe as soon as, well, basically as soon as he can interpret that he's allowed to, he's going to be opening that back up. Go on then, get out. Stop. Leave me alone. Stop pestering. It's because I won't pay her any attention, so she's going to sod off. Go on then. I'm honestly not talking to myself. She is. Where is she? There, she's there, right there. She's about to jump through the window, no doubt. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, obviously the government guidelines are outdoor sports. If you're in an indoor range, well, that's most definitely not outdoors, is it? And we have a new sponsor for this evening. It's no longer Pepsi. I'm on the 7-Up, but still sugar free. I've got to be competition fit for when lockdown is over, of course. Oh, Carl's here. Hi Carl, how's it going? You've just finished the level 1 IPSC rifle match today and your first time as match director. Oh, congratulations. I hope everything went well. Good to hear that some parts of the world are running matches again. I know David Kiddle from Kentucky Firearms Club, I'm sure he can tell you guys how difficult it's been here. They had to cancel yet another match. Well, it's the same match, but it'd been postponed, but they unfortunately had to cancel it, which is really, really annoying. But hopefully it's not going to be too much longer. Nala's finally left, and she can stay out now, because I don't have to keep on shutting the window and opening it and whatnot. But yeah, let's again, oh, you guys have been chatting. When is the Ruger 1022 video coming? So I very kindly had an offer from somebody that got in contact directly with me, and I believe they have, I think it's a Rimfire Magic, I might be wrong on that, but basically a really souped up 1022, and they very kindly offered to come and bring it down. Obviously with lockdown, basically they just need to find the right moment and make sure that they're not doing anything naughty, basically. But I've got one lined up as soon as, I mean, we do have Connor's 1022, so perhaps I can do like a precursor video, because Connor's is sort of standard in a way, but we can sort of look at that one and then look at the Rimfire Magic and sort of compare and see what the Rimfire Magic offers you. But nothing filmed yet, but I've got this offer. We're going to end up getting one in soon. So as soon as I, well, no reason I couldn't go out with Connors. So I'll see. It won't be much longer, I promise. It is a video that I've been meaning to do for a while. I mean, it's a 1022. Like, who doesn't know of a 1022? It's one of the most popular guns. So I'll be looking forward to doing that video. Yeah, Stephen Wolf, beaches here were packed. Yeah, I've been seeing all of the news, basically all the pictures. Like, basically they've obviously loosened lockdown slightly, and then people have gone, "Oh, it's over." Well, it's not. So I don't know. Connors and I are sort of thinking, actually, this is the time to be uber careful, because this is probably when we're going to see a second peak potentially. So it will be interesting to see what happens sort of in a week or two's time, and see if there is any peak from people being a bit more laxed. So we'll see, but you just got to take every day as it comes and just do what you can and be sensible. That's why, of course, I'm still here, not in the gun room yet. We were talking about it briefly today. We're going to have a further discussion about the logistics and how sort of appropriate it would be to get Connors back on here and do it back in the gun room. And I've also good news for any people that are exclusively on YouTube. Luckily, well, I'm entertaining the idea of not going back to Facebook, because I've really enjoyed doing it on YouTube the last, well, couple of months now, I think. And I know that there's pretty much anyone that has Facebook has YouTube, but not everyone that has YouTube has Facebook. So I don't like excluding subscribers and people that enjoy watching the videos from being able to join in with the live stream, because I think it's a great opportunity to interact as we do. So don't know, we might keep it on YouTube, we might go back to Facebook. It really does depend how we can figure out bringing guns into it. We've got a few ideas. Obviously on YouTube you can't handle firearms, that you can get your channel banned or your stream shut down, so it's not something really I want to sort of tempt fate with. But yes, we'll weigh it up and we'll see if we can sort of deliver the sort of stream we want to while pandering to YouTube's demand. And I made a video recently about the monetization, and that's been working really well. This sort of self certification or self-assessment on your YouTube, on your videos. So it seems to be working. I think the only video that wasn't monetized was the Tipman video, and I'm reviewing a gun. I tell you where you can get the gun, and that's something that YouTube really doesn't like, even though it's a licensed firearms dealer that I recommend. They don't like it. So yeah, but on the whole, things seem to be good on the monetization front and the YouTube front. I wonder if it's worth clarifying with them that if you're within like a licensed gun shop, whether you can handle them on the stream. So yeah, we'll see. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Mum, hit the like button again, guys. Hit the like button. There we go. I'll say it myself. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the stream, if you enjoy the channel, if you enjoy the videos. It really does help with the YouTube analytics. It really does help the channel grow and reach new people and get new people into the sport. Which is what I always say, but it doesn't make it any less true. So hit that like button and see how many new people we can reach. David, you keep telling me that Caliber has all this new stuff. I haven't seen it yet. I thought you were coming by today or tomorrow at some point this week. I've been looking forward to it. You've been promising me all of these goodies, all of these treats, and you're letting me down. You can come down here, we'll do some videos with it. We can get you on camera if you really want. I don't know. Well, I would rather not have to shut the channel down a second time, but we can see how that goes. Richard Weston, well, with IWA cancelled, are there any goodies being released by suppliers that could go on the Christmas list? Anything to keep an eye out? Well, with IWA and what's the SHOT Show, although SHOT Show did obviously go ahead, all the new product launches sort of still went ahead regardless of IWA being shut down because of COVID-19. So I think we've already seen a number of new products released. And with shows being postponed, so like in the UK, luckily we were able to go ahead with the Great British Shooting Show, but Northern Shooting Show has been postponed to August. Luckily the Practical Shooting Show is much later in the year, so I'm pretty certain that will still go ahead. But I would imagine that manufacturers and you know, the products, the brands are going to hold off, basically rough, what is it, not rough the storm, you know what I mean, weather the storm, is that it? Pretty sure. Anyway, basically ride it out, see what happens, and I'm sure anything that's sort of in development now will probably be released, or anything that was going to be released earlier in the year when everyone's back to normal, they'll probably release it. So I could see sort of September, October, November time, anything that has been held back, we might have a rush of goodies. But from what I know at this moment, I don't know of anything that's meant to be coming out. I know that the new Sony A7 IV or A7 III's is meant to be coming out later in the year, but I'm sure few of you don't give a hoot about that because it's not gun related. But anyway, because Richard, I've seen you're here, I do want to give a big shout out to Richard. So Richard has been incredibly generous, along with a certain Carl. I haven't seen your name yet, Carl, but if you're here, hello and thank you, of course. But yeah, between Richard and Kyle, they've basically financed the new camera that I've got. But to go one further, Richard decided that he would donate this. I put a post out today about it. An absolutely awesome bit of kit, Zeiss lens. Well, you're all shooters, you should know Zeiss. Like, Zeiss don't make shit, do they? They make high quality optics and they make high quality lenses as well. The specs of this is absolutely awesome, and I was genuinely like lost for words and shocked when the package turned up. Richard wouldn't tell me what it was. He said, you know, give me your address, I'll send something down. And when I opened that, I was like, oh my god. So yeah, very, very happy with that. And really, Richard, I cannot thank you enough. That's just absolutely awesome. Again, with more, you know, this is the stuff that really does, you know, make me happy, because I know that I can produce better, higher quality videos for you guys. And you know, I'm sort of happy for you guys because, you know, I know you'll get to watch better stuff. So yeah, again, thank you very much, Richard, for that. Stephen Wolf, so I fire myself up by listening to the music, love the song, downloaded it. Thursday evenings are very cool now for me. So yeah, sorry about that. I'll try and not mess it up next week. If you flash back to last week, you'll probably see that it cut in at about 2.5 minutes, because I realised, and I was sat here waiting for that's it. It's because I actually have the screen that you guys can all see. I usually use that as a test to make sure it's all coming through, and I went on it maybe with like 45 seconds to go, and I was like, why isn't the countdown? Like, I can see it on my control screen on the software, and I was like, why isn't it playing? Oh god, I haven't gone live. So I hit it and just about got on there. I even wasn't wearing the cap. I was like, just chuck the hat on, hit go. See, all very professional and organised here. Mochaccino, you've got to have that PP resolution if you say so. Moving on. Yeah, sorry about the fan. That is actually annoying me as well, because I've stepped up the resolution. So you guys are saying it's quality's better, so that's good. Apparently the tone is a bit higher. Tight undies. Oh god, maybe the hat's a bit tight, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so glad to hear that the quality is a little bit better. But yeah, because the quality's better, my Mac is working even harder and it's whirring away, so I'm really sorry about that. I will try and hook up a camera and try and see if I can sort that out for next week, but maybe next week we'll be in the gun room, maybe, fingers crossed, don't know yet. But yeah, I hope it's not too bad. Do I have a mic to hand that I could plug in? No, I've tried that before, it just all goes wrong. So anyway, I'm really sorry about the fan noise, but I'll carry on and just try and talk over it. But it's annoying me as well, so we're suffering together. More cat. You guys want more cat? Oh, she's gone. I'm sorry. Just pull the tick out. No, I'm a townie. Not. I might work pretty much slap bang in the middle of the countryside, but you know, ticks, so get the little removal thing. Like, I'm not gonna touch that. It might jump on me and bite me. Stephen Wolf, what's the situational practical shooting? Can you go on now purely outside with enhanced safety measures? I speak to a dude. No, I speak due to the well-known issue of ROing having to be quite close to safety. So this is an issue, and it's what's holding up practical shooting getting back up and running. Because, like, if an RO is 2 meters away from you at all times, they're not really ROing. The RO, whilst obviously they never interfere with the shooting, they are there as an absolute last resort, which is what actually makes practical shooting very, very safe. If someone goes to do a full, you know, 180 or 360 or whatever, and, you know, they're going to go and swing the gun, the RO should be close enough where they can stop it. They can either stop the gun or grab the shooter. So yeah, obviously having to keep 2 meters away, that does actually compromise safety in terms of an ROing standpoint. And then also, it's practical shooting will be a competition, is going to be a large gathering of people, and you're not allowed to mix with anyone other than, well, I suppose Bisley's opening up, so I don't know really. I mean, as long as, I guess, if everyone keeps 2 meters apart, there's no reason. But again, ROing, I've seen Silverstone Shooting Centre. They've got some of the cheap face shields that sort of strangely only cover half your face. But anyway, that's their choice. And they're basically giving all of their ROs that. Although not very effective because it doesn't cover the whole of the face, but anyway. So I'm sure people will adjust. I'm sure there are ways that we can do it, but, you know, we've already lost a lot of matches, and I think, unfortunately, I think a lot of the practical organisations and clubs have basically resigned themselves to not opening up until things are a lot more looser, rather than making it work with the current guidelines, because they don't want to get in trouble with the police. And they certainly don't want to jeopardise anyone's safety, either from an ROing standpoint or from catching the virus. So we'll see. I know Kentucky Firearms Club, I know David is doing absolutely everything he can to be able to start practical matches again, to start shooting again. So as soon as there are any matches or anything going on, I'll be posting, so keep an eye out on the Facebook page. I did see someone say something about, it did sort of flick past me, that the hat should be made in the UK. There is a compromise. Like, I would love for everything, I mean, the majority of stuff from Magload is made in the UK. Unfortunately, if I was to get these caps to be made in the UK, I'd probably end up having to charge like 50 quid each for them. I want to keep them affordable for you guys, while also allowing a little bit of money into the channel as well. So it is a compromise. We are in talks with somebody who's actually in the States. I don't know if they are manufactured in the States, but that's got to be better than China or Bangladesh. I mean, you know, they effectively are cousins from across the pond. And personally, I would prefer to buy from the US over China or Bangladesh. And I'd prefer to buy in the UK, of course, but I think America's a good second option. But we'll see. As soon as I've sort of nailed down the spec and what I'm going to go for, I'll let all of you guys know if you're interested. Daniel Smiled, when is the big bucks coming to donate? I don't know, but I'm sure he'll make an entrance. I'll clap my cheeks for it. What, you mean like that? Or you being dirty again? Steve also, I already donated, but he never clapped his cheeks. I mean, all you got to do is ask, right? You know, I'm effectively a cam girl now, for all of you dirty old men. But I mean, you know, do I look bothered? I've got a new camera for it. You know, I have no shame. It's fine. Ruger Precision Rimfire, any good? As someone said, Neil's got one. I actually went and met up with Neil ages ago when I think he'd first got that, and we were hitting shotgun cartridge, empty shotgun cartridge shells, fired ones, at 100 yards with it, absolutely no problem. With a fair breeze as well going across the range. I mean, I know 100 yards isn't necessarily the outright limit for a 2.2, but still consistently hitting it, you just pointed that thing and shot, and you got the target. I was very, very impressed. I know some people with the Ruger Precisions haven't been that impressed. There's been some quality issues that I'm aware of, but we do also have the 338, which we still haven't shot. Moving on. Travis Carter, you guys open for the sale of ammo? Yes. Bluefield Sports is taking customers. Remember, guys, that with the guidance, gun shops were never actually told to shut. I don't think any businesses, apart from pubs, clubs, and restaurants and leisure centres, were told to shut. So, you know, as I've been saying throughout the lockdown, for sort of special, when I say special customers, you're all special customers. Every customer is special, of course. But for special circumstances, people that have an absolute need to come in during lockdown to get ammunition or have their gun serviced, Bluefield Sports was still open. So if you want to come and get ammo, if there's a gun that you're interested in, as long as you feel that you can justify it, as long as you feel that you're not breaking the current lockdown conditions, then it's up to you. But the gun shop is open, we're all here, Magload's open, we're here back again. I did drop down to 3 or 4 days a week. I'm usually here 7 days a week without fail, but I dropped it down to sort of 3 or 4 during the main phase of lockdown. But I'm back here pretty much every day now, apart from when I get exhausted and I just need to sleep throughout a day. But yeah, if you guys are interested or need any help at all, come down. And I believe training and instruction and the safety courses are back on. We won't be doing them. I think it's going to only be one-on-one training, unfortunately, because of the lockdown restrictions. But if you want to pay for a one-on-one training session or a one-on-one UK PSA safety course, then get in contact with Bluefield Sports, because, well, we can now do that under the lockdown. It's a outdoor activity, it's an outdoor sport. Whether or not it's training or assessment or whatever, we feel comfortable that we can do it. Yeah, so get in touch. We're trying to get back to normal as quickly as possible, and you know, it's not like we're on a high street here, so we can, you know, for ourselves, we feel fairly safe because we don't have a huge amount of exposure to outside people, not like a high street shop. So we're personally comfortable with people coming in. But it is only one person or one customer in the gun room at the moment only. But I'm sure we can make that work for everyone. Thank you, Nick. Clap them cheeks. That's good. Is that what you're after? And David, thanks, David. Much appreciated. And what are you guys talking about now? Xbox One geeks, have you ever tried the new CZ457s? Very good out of the box. We did a review of, I believe there's a review on Gunroom TV. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was a CZ. Let me have a look. Actually, I've got the computer in front of me. That was at a time where it was a lot more confusing with the law about what I could and couldn't do, and it might have actually been during the period that the channel was shut down. So I don't know if I would have had the chance. I don't remember shooting it, but I'll oh god, if the sound is better and I'm typing away, I'm sorry. Oh, that's right, we had the CZ 455 American stainless. So if you go on to Gunroom TV on the Gunroom TV YouTube channel, it's actually one of the most popular videos on there. So if you go onto the channel and look at popular videos, you'll see that review. From memory, I'm pretty sure we were pretty impressed with it. But watch the review. Connors knows what he's talking about. So whatever he says, I support most of the time. But yeah, I haven't had one personally, and I can't remember if I shot that again because of the legalities of what was going on at the time. But we'll see if we can get, if you guys, there's been a few people, I remember we were talking about it last week, that have shown interest in that gun. So if we can get one in, I think it's GMK that is it. Let's have a look. GMK. They stock so many. No, CZ. Maybe that's Edgar's or Ray Trade. No, it's not GMK. Who brings in? Let's have a look. Let's CZ UK importer. I should really know this sort of stuff off the top of my head. Edgar Brothers. So it's Edgar Brothers, but we had one in before. Perhaps I know that Edgar Brothers unfortunately have a fairly bad reputation for getting back to people, but we'll see what we can work out and see if we can get one in, because again, so many of you guys seem to be interested in it. Richard Weston, give that beard a good Connor stroke. What, this beard? How do you want it? Do you want it fast and vigorous, or do you want it just slow and relaxed? Again, I've turned into a cam girl. But yeah, thank you very much, Richard. I'm not going to tell you not to donate, but I mean, you've done a pretty good job this week already, but very much appreciated. Really appreciate it. Really thankful. It's honestly, I'm getting used to this. You're setting me in, like, obviously you guys are a little bit more flush. And Nick, I said Nick. I did say Nick, thanks to Nick. But obviously you guys are all flush during this lockdown, and I know what's going to happen. Everything's going to go back to normal, and you're going to be like, English shooting what? Who? And I'm going to be stuck with a Sony for the next 10 years. But anyway. Let's talk about. Should I catch up? I'm trying to catch up. With all you guys, but I do have topics I want to talk about. Do your own website stream. Oops, I thought that flag was a wave button. All right, Mochaccino, calm down. My own website stream. I mean, English Shooting does have a very old, very basic sort of crap website, because I thought I sort of needed something. Is it actually still up? That'd be English Shooting. It's EnglishShooting.org if you're interested. How bad is it? I remember it used to be pretty bad. Oh, here we go. It's coming up. Well, okay, that's not as bad as I remember. Some old videos though. I definitely need to update the videos on it. Maybe I should do more of it. But the issue, Mochaccino, or Arias, as your real name is that it's all well and good doing a stream on my own website, but the reason I do it on YouTube is because English Shooting is a YouTube channel, if you hadn't realised. And it's like, for me, it's just, people that are on the channel watching the videos, subscribers and fans, or people that have just dropped in. For me, it's just I think it's a fantastic way to just interact with all of you guys. So, I think I would lose a lot with the website stream. So, what I just need to do is figure out a better setup so I don't get fan noise, and it's just a little, I just want to constantly improve the quality and have the viewing experience better for you guys. Someone posted about the CZ457 in the English Shooting Facebook group, so maybe I'll have to go and check that out. I do try and keep up with the group, but again, you guys post so often, it's sort of hard, and then I've got like everything else going on. But yeah, I do need to put more time into the group. But I love that you guys are all in there having like conversations back and forth with sort of out any prompting, which is what I love to see. M. Gabriel saying local gun shop back to normal, ammo is available including 9 and 22. Owner says distributor firearms and ammunition inventories are depleted and being bought as they come back in. I guess you're American, because like we don't really see that in the UK. We don't see shelves cleared because we're all limited on what we can buy. Mac, thank you very much. Rub the beard to make it is this going to be the thing? Is this like the money tree now? Like if I rub it, donations appear? I'm going to get very sore at this case. Again, specify how you want the beard rubbed. I can do it, gently and smoothly, or I can go for a real rough. Depends what you're into. Oh god, the money we can make with Connors. Jeez, I mean, this is like beard rub light. Like Connors, you could get really into. I miss him on the streams. Well, I do and I don't. I don't get as much abuse doing it on my own. Like Connors does have a habit of just constantly abusing me. Mike Darby's Target Practical show is still on in November. Yeah, I mean, Gunroom TV is actually the official media partners. That's why you'll see on Gunroom TV loads of interviews come out throughout the year that are filmed at that show. And we always do like a promo sort of overview video as well. So yeah, we're very much involved with that. And Mike hasn't said, you know, he's very worried, as I'm sure any show organizer is, but being later in the year, I think has sort of paid dividends for him. And you know, he's going to be hopefully okay. And you know, I really enjoy that show because it's practical. So you know, hopefully it still goes ahead. But we don't know what's going to happen. Let's see. Oh, did Mochaccino flag my stream? Bastard. Don't do that. Why would you do that? I mean, my face isn't that bad. Just testing out Callum's heart rate monitor on his watch. What watch? I'm watchless. But yeah. I didn't actually see anything. So if you were doing that as fun, then fail. Nick, what's the next big purchase going to be for the channel via donations? That is, well, ordinarily I'd say a lens, but I've just been given another one. What do I have my eye on? Well, I do actually need a mount. So this is actually a Canon EF mount, and I bought that 50mm Canon lens, which is obviously a Canon mount. So I need to buy an adapter. And I can spend anywhere between 30 quid for like an Amazon special, or there's a company called Metabones, which is a really high regarded one. You get all of the same functionality. It's a great converter, and they are like £250. So probably one of those, or a monitor. Although saying that, I've been doing some videos. Got a couple of. Well, I've got like a gunsmithy video coming out. I'm not going to say I'm a gunsmith. I've just basically pimped out a 1522, and I was actually really worried about vlogging because as I said to you guys, with the actually I've got it behind me, with my old Canon, the screen comes out and flips out, so I can see it and obviously see that I'm in frame. The monitor on this doesn't, so like that's all you can do with it, unfortunately. But actually I found that if I hold it like that, because it's 4K, if I open up the lens as far as it will go, only go down to 28mm, but it's wide enough, and basically as long as I'm looking at the lens, it's worked out so far. And even if I'm a little bit off center, because it's 4K, I can crop it in. So the monitor, I'm like, whilst I thought it was going to be an essential, I don't necessarily think I need it. I do need one, but I can make do. I can't, unless I go back to the Canon, I can't make use of this beautiful lens from Richard without the adapter. So it will probably be the adapter first, and then after that it will probably be more lenses. And I know, like, you probably sat there going, well, how many lenses does a one man need? And like, every different lens has a different purpose, and I'm really getting into getting different looks and making the best videos possible. So more lenses, more choice, more variety, and can hopefully they fit different purposes basically. Callum needs a new shirt. His looks knackered. It's not too, it's dusty, that's all it is. It's because the Gators don't have doors, so we head up to the range and everything gets covered. I mean, like, I actually chucked this in the range bag, this hat, because it's brand new and I don't want to get it dirty. But compare it to the Magload hat. That's what happens when you have a doorless, windowless Gator. You just get absolutely covered. So that's my range hat, because I don't want to get this one dirty. And then I do realise I have a very suspicious stain on my shoulder. It's not what you think. It's actually the glue, the adhesive that's used in, I think it's the magazine tubes that Magload makes, and it's what's used to bond the nut and the carbon. And I think I was cleaning one out one day, and yeah, it doesn't come out in the wash. So this is a clean shirt. It's okay, maybe I need a new shirt. All right, I'll concede. Um, I've got a lovely American shooting trips one. Maybe I'll wear that for next week, and of course you'll see that during the whole of the trip. It's not that bad. So can you create your own, so DATV is asking, can you create your own private range on your own land? Yes. It's a very long-winded question otherwise, if I say anything like that, anything more than that. At the end of the day, it comes down to, first of all, it comes down to what's on your FAC, what stipulations and conditions are on your FAC to whether you're allowed to shoot on a private range, let's say. But let's take 22 mini rifle, right? So anything that's under .23 caliber can be bought without a license for the purposes of mini rifle ranges. Well, there is no, as we found out with the full metal jacket ranges, and there's a video where I go into depth on that on the channel if you want to learn more. Basically, it was the Yobos that were doing incredibly dangerous stuff with 22 semi-automatic rifles, to the point where their backstop was like only a meter high, probably not even that, and bullets were going over the head of a nearby truck stop, and basically there's no the way that they got off of that charge in terms of the firearms charge or being dangerous with a firearm or whatever, is because there is no legal definition of what a range is. So technically people could use their back gardens. There's no definition or requirement for a backstop. Although there are obviously health and safety laws, which aren't firearms laws, that they could potentially do you under. But yes, anyone could go out and make your own range, and certainly anything up to .23 caliber, you could run a mini rifle range for your own private enjoyment without any licenses. Now, what Alex has done here at Blue Field Sports, now it's slightly different because we're based on a 1,000-acre estate, so it's fairly secluded, it's fairly private, but he's built a range to the NRA and military specifications. So he's downloaded the handbook, the rule books, and if you're interested, drop me an email to EnglishShooting@gmail.com, and I can give you links or where to find these manuals. And basically the NRA is saying if you build a range, it needs to be to this standard. So if you build a range to that standard, in terms of health and safety, it's not an issue, because the onus is actually on the NRA, because they've said what's safe. If you've done it to their specifications, well, it's not your fault if someone down the line deems it to be unsafe, because you can go, well, hang on a minute, I built it to NRA standards. It did actually get a bit weird with Hampshire Police, or well, Hampshire Firearms Department, because they actually tried to shut the range down, saying that it was unsafe, it hadn't been certified, and Alex is there going, well, hang on a minute, well, first of all, it doesn't need to be certified, and second of all, it ain't your remit. It's not your job to go around assessing ranges. It's your job to make sure that people are abiding by the firearms laws, and this is a health and safety issue. So they ended up backing down because, well, Alex was in the right, and luckily we had Adrian Whiting, who's a sort of foremost expert on firearms law, and he basically said, yeah, that you're perfectly within your rights to do what you've done. So long-winded question, yes, you can build your own range, but make sure it's to the right specifications and you're within your the conditions on your FAC. That's the word I was looking for. David Kiddle, made in the USA, made in Mexico. What, like the wall? Callum trying to strike a deal with bunker branding. Oh, that would be the dream. They make such good stuff. I did look at bunker branding. I think it's something like they won't even respond to your email unless you have 100,000 subscribers. So if anyone's watching this and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We get to that 100k, I'll get in contact with bunker branding, who, if you guys don't know, is Demolition Ranch. I'll get in contact and we can have some genuine, authentic bunker branding, but I need that 100k subs first. So get busy, get sharing, and I don't know, you might have some awesome English shooting merch to purchase and support. English Shooting now on Twitch, just chatting. What are you on about? What have you been smoking tonight, Arius? Alberto, seeing more and more of your videos and learnt about 11.4 exemption. Where is the logic on it? Shall anyone claim his backyard is a range he runs? Well, I've just been talking about that. Funny enough, I didn't see that comment beforehand. Yes, it comes, but it comes from like fairgrounds and stuff like that, but it also comes from like the old, what are they, the old bell rangers, I think it's called. Are they the bell rangers, the ones that used to have in pubs? Basically, there were loads of these little small range 2-2 ranges dotted around the country, and it's a provision from quite a while ago. I mean, where it actually came in from was defense of the realm. So funny enough, like, I always find this ironic, right? One of the main reasons I ended up shutting down the channel and had all the issue with the police was because of my views on self-defense. Well, if you look at the mission statement, I guess, of the NRA and the NSRA and even the UK PSA, so 3 national governing bodies of UK shooting sports, within all of their mission statements, I can't remember what the right word is, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It basically says for defense of the realm and efficiency of the UK armed forces. Like, that is the reason we have an NRA. That is the reason the NSRA is in existence. That is why the UK PSA exists, and that's why we have the mini rifle. It's skill at arms. It's to make sure that everyone within the UK has a minimum proficiency with the firearms, so that if we end up going into a war and we need sort of boots on the ground, then it doesn't take too long to train people up. So, this is what I find really confusing, is that the national governing bodies are founded on self-defense, on, well, defense of the realm, which I suppose is slightly different to self-defense, but it's still defensive. It's still a sort of a militaristic vibe. But then, someone goes on and says something about self-defense and they get in trouble. So it's a little bit confusing at times. But yeah, that's where the 2-2 rifle, mini rifle exemption came in, was to make sure that guys could practice their marksmanship and that they were equipped for war, basically. That's where it all comes from. I just seen that the donation from David Kiddles for the new shirt. Again, I've got a few of these, some in much better conditions than this one, but much appreciated. Oh God, DATV has definitely asked one hell of a question. What are the best long range calibers? Well, I would default and say 308. It's probably the most run-of-the-mill. I know a lot of people say that 308 is now outdated because it's 6.5 Creedmoor, and if you really want to stretch out and touch somebody, you've got your 338 and your 50 cal. And actually, funnily enough, V Pope said exactly the same thing. I mean, there are, technically 223. It depends what you are defining as long distance. I mean, the F-class shooters, correct me if I'm wrong and I'm making a complete pig's ear out of this, but I'm pretty sure that F-class shooters, that's 223, and they're shooting, like groups like that at 1,000 yards. So maybe they shoot 308 and I'm just an idiot. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Mochaccino, Callum doesn't realise he's being groomed. No, I realise. I'm just okay with it. If I'm paid, like, being groomed to me says that there's no benefit. I'm benefiting from this, beard stroking donation relationship that we seem to have. I don't know where it's going to lead. If it becomes uncomfortable for me, I will ask you to stop. But for now, it's okay. So carry on. It's fine. I don't mind. Let's it's just shot off to oblivion. Where were we? Let's find it. What are you guys talking about? I'm gonna take a pause from your guys' questions. Let's have a look what we've got to talk about. Well, we've actually talked about a lot of it already. Obviously, lockdown has lifted. Talked about the new hat. Did any of you guys watch the Gun Control Network video that I put out. I was very happy with how that turned out, actually. Like, a lot of the times I have a really good idea and I will make notes on a video, and I know what I want to say, I know what I want to portray, and sometimes it doesn't always come out sort of 100% like how I intended. But that one, I sort of, you know, after watching it back after it was all edited, I was like, no, that's pretty much exactly what I wanted to get out of it. But anyway, I'm going to pause talking about that for a second, because it is 8 o'clock here. And no, that's not for a STD appointment. It's time to give the NHS a round of applause. Go out to your doors, your windows, balconies, rooftops, gardens, patios, conservatories, wherever you can go out and make some noise. Give the NHS a clap and show your appreciation to the NHS and frontline workers. Again, if any of you don't know, if any of you are, you know, not from the UK, and you're going, why the hell is he just clapping? Basically, every Thursday now at 8 o'clock, we have been clapping the NHS to show our appreciation to frontline workers and what they're doing. So yeah, I mean, I say every week. Those of you that have joined the stream regularly will know that I have missed it at points. Sorry, I just get too into a conversation. But now that I actually have my alarm set exactly for 8 o'clock, 2 weeks on the trot, I've done it on the dot. That's going to be a gif. Anyway, let's carry on. Matt Mudix. I still, like, I see your username every single week, and I cannot pronounce it. Maybe we're gonna have to give you my phone number just so you can tell me how it's meant to be pronounced. But anyway, thanks for the offer. So you've offered, if you want to set up a more up-to-date website, yeah, please drop me an email at EnglishShooting@gmail.com, and we'll see what we can work out. I mean, we do have a somebody, she doesn't work on site, but there is someone that we use for Gumroom TV already, and a couple of other sites as well, including Magload, actually, and you know, she does some amazing stuff, but she does charge. So if you're willing to donate to the channel in helping with the website, then that will be very much appreciated. It is something that I've been meaning to get round to, but just been very busy, I guess. I mean, even though it's been locked down, we've been making the most of it. Let's Daniel Smell, flag him, I can ban him. Yeah, Arius, yeah, don't tempt me. So guys, I haven't just gone silent for the sake of it. I'm just catching up on all of your comments and what you're talking about. A lot of you guys talking about bringing in various AKs, and obviously there being the various embargoes, which is annoying. I know, like, companies like Dissident Arms, they're well, I think they've recently got a new supplier of guns, but I know that they were actually going around and buying, like, because the Dissident Arms, they don't fully make the gun. They get in the Molot Vepers, and then they go to town on them, basically. It's absolutely incredible what they do, but they need the Molot Vepers to be able to do their work. So they were going around and basically buying as many Molot Vepers as they can and stockpiling them, so they didn't run out of guns. I know that Kalashnikov has released a new variant, I think, sort of in collaboration with them, so there must be a way that they're getting them in, or maybe they're manufactured in the US, I don't know. But yeah, it's all very weird and odd. Why can't we just all get along and be one world happy family? I mean, I suppose we did try that with the EU, and look how that turned out. Richie Bray, hi Rich, how's it going? As long as it's just the beard you're rubbing. Well, unless I've got more than two hands, or I'm doing something very complicated with my feet down there. Yeah, you guys seem to be quite bummed about the about the Russia embargo. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things. It's actually a number of years ago that came in. Holy shit! Let me guess. Oh, yep, it's Kyle. I mean, I did for a moment think that it could be somebody else throwing their money around. I told you Danny'd make an entrance. Hi Kyle, thank you very much. That's absolutely awesome. Like, Daddy is here, Callum. Now Kyle, if you said you've been late, people have been asking me to stroke my beard for money tonight. If you would like my beard to be stroked, please tell me in what manner you would like me to stroke it, and I'll well, for 100 quid I'll stroke it however you want within reason. Please don't hurt me. But very much appreciate. That's absolutely incredible. Like, every week I think, nah, it's not going to carry on. Like, the first week it happened, I just like literally like driving home shaking, like, that was insane. And then I started the next stream and it was like, you're not going to get the same, and then you guys are mental. But anyway, yeah, again, I really can't thank you enough. It's bloody mental. Anyway, we're talking about the gun control network. So if you guys haven't seen that video, as I was saying, it's I was very, very happy with how it turned out, and sort of the overall message that sort of came through on it. But what a bunch of assholes. Like, of course I'm going to say that, they're gun control, but it's like more so than usual. It just makes no sense what they are doing and their motives, and actually something that I missed off of their website. One of their goals is actually to have firearm owners' information more available, and they actually compare firearms owners to paedophiles, because they say on their website something along the lines of, well, a sex offender, there's maps for sex offenders, so you can see if there's a sex offender near you, so why don't we have maps of gun owners? Well, let me think about that for a moment. One, they're not fucking sex offenders. Two, they haven't done anything illegal. And three, I can't possibly imagine what would ever happen making public the location of all of the firearms owners across the UK. Like, how mentally deficient do you have to be to think that it's a good idea making firearms owners' addresses public? Like there's every criminal up and down the country are just going to be rubbing their hands like, well, we're going to hit that one tonight, we're going to hit that one tonight. And I'm sure if they had their way, they would actually have an itemized breakdown list of what they are. Oh, 50 cal, we'll go for that one. Like it's just laughable. It would be laughable if they didn't have so much sway and so much control and so much input. Like, and the general gist of the video is that really this all-powerful gun control network is one woman that doesn't know her ass from her elbow about guns. Like, I just, if there was somebody that was anti-gun that actually knew what they were talking about, like, it's not like I could get on board with it, but like I could at least stomach that a little more. But somebody that is just literally doing it because of a political agenda. Her husband's an MP, or was an MP, who was caught up in the expenses scandal. So that's integrity right there for you. And they obviously saw this political train of gun control and thought, yeah, I'll jump on that and ride that as far as that will go. And obviously, everyone knows who she is, everyone knows who her husband is, so it did work in some circumstance, but like, at what cost? And again, with all the videos, I'm sorry if you guys have already seen it, but handgun crime increased 40% in the years after. Handgun crime still accounts for 40% of all gun crime within the UK. So a gun that is effectively banned accounts for the single largest majority of gun crime there is. Like, to me, that's all you need to know that banning guns doesn't work, or certainly banning particular types of guns. And I've said it many times before, I'm not opposed to restriction, I'm not opposed to licensing, I actually quite support our licensing, system in principle. Some counties could be more efficient with it, of course, but when you look at when guns have been banned, when you look at when further legislation has come in, it's never, what ends up happening is that the big news is always the guns that they have ended up banning. What they always skip over is the further checks and balances that they've brought in. So I know after Port Arthur, Port Arthur, the big Australian shooting, they brought in tons of further checks with your GP or the equivalent out there, more stringent police background checks and things like that. And everyone goes, well, you know, we banned all of these, you know, handguns and semi-automatic rifles and shotguns or whatever they banned out there, and look, we haven't had a mass shooting since, so fantastic. But what they skip over is it wasn't the banning of those particular guns, it was all of the further checks and balances that they brought in that did it. And look at the UK, it was Michael Ryan, when he applied for his license, it wasn't a requirement to have a GP check. Your doctor or any health professional wasn't involved, and after that shooting they brought it in as a mandatory requirement because he had known mental health issues. He had been reported numerous times to the police for taking pot shots at people with an air rifle through his window. And it's like, so everyone goes, oh yeah, they banned pistols, they banned semi-automatic rifles, and we haven't had a mass shooting of the same severity. Well, no, the reason we haven't had a mass shooting of the same severity here is because it's now mandatory for a GP check, so if you've got any mental issues or mental health issues, they're picked up on, so they're not going to give you a license. And the overall background check that the police do is so much more in depth. So if you've been taking pot shots with an air rifle at people, you're probably not going to get an FAC nowadays. I mean, even who was the whack job? What was his name? Derek Bird up in Cumbria. He had previously been arrested. He'd been arrested and charged for theft from what's the big nuclear waste plant up there? Sellafield, is it? Basically, he'd stolen stuff from a nuclear, a nuclear plant or waste facility. I can't remember which one it actually is there. And charged, didn't have any of his licenses taken away. And I believe there was that's right. I think a few weeks before he went on a rampage, the police were actually called by his brother for a domestic incident, and yet nothing was taken away. And you're like, to me, that's not the restrictions or the ideally, like, he should have had his guns taken away so that they could sort things out. You know, he had a criminal record, and never did they entertain the idea of taking away his guns. You know, he was, threatening his partner at the time, well documented. No, and again, so I know I'm preaching to the choir here. I know you guys probably mostly agree with me, but it just drives me bonkers. It's like, I'm a fairly meticulously logical person, being an engineer, and that's why I hate words and I love maths, because numbers don't lie mostly. It either is or it isn't. Words are a bit like, yeah, no. And this is what confuses me, as I look at it very logically, and of course I'm going to be biased, of course you guys are going to be biased, but I try to take that into account. Like, yeah, if someone looked up and said, we're going to lift all gun laws tomorrow, I'd be a bit like, that would be pretty cool, but it would, in a way, I think it would be bedlam, because criminals could get what they want and all that. So I try to take a balanced view when I can, and you have all this logical argument and statistics and fact, and then it's like when they actually go to make an argument for gun control, it's like, well, we're going to ignore all of this and everything we think will become true. Anyway, I'll stop ranting. It's been a while, actually. I feel good. I feel relieved. Not in that way. Anyway, what have you guys been saying? Have you all switched off? For some reason, my control board has frozen, so I'm still getting all your messages. I can see me waffling on like 30 seconds behind, But I can't see how many people have liked it, so please like it. And I can't see, like, at the moment it's saying I've got 8 viewers, but I've actually got the preview screen and there's nearly 50 of you, but there's only 26 likes. Hit the like button. Share the channel. Share, like, I'm sure you've all got friends that you can share this to and get them to join in. I'm sure it can't get any worse than it already is. Let me see. Oh guys, you've been busy. I've hit a nerve with that conversation, haven't I? Let's see. Oh, I'm just scrolling past the Kyle donation. That's, again, mental. You're crazy. I'm still convinced you're a drug dealer. Oh yeah, and sorry, to get back onto it, the main thing, obviously, the title of that video, mass casualty weapons. Like, mass casualty weapons, when someone says that to me, you think weapons of mass destruction. You think, you know, nukes, missiles, minigun, any sort of explosives. You know, you think of, like, serious, like, weapons of war, and not the you know, hand-carried type. But not when you're talking about 2.2 semi-automatic rifles and box-head semi-automatic shotguns. Anyway, oh, I do feel better. I might be feeling like I'm getting walked up, but anyway. So we're going to move on from our previous sponsor of 7-Up. I fancy a change of taste, and we're back on to our original sponsor, Pepsi. They've been sponsoring us for a very long time now. Very grateful for that. I mean, we haven't received anything from them, but Pepsi Max. M. Gabriel, gum prostitute. I'm pretty much a gum prostitute now. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yes, that's very true. I hadn't realised that. But no, I'm a gun cam girl. GCG, like a GSG. World Gun Owners Association, Yardley is more of a problem than the Gun Control Network. He's the mole from within. Yeah, I agree with you. Well, yeah, to a certain extent. The issue with Yardley is that he's not as sort of proactive in sort of trying to throw the whole sport under the bus as, say, the Gun Control Network is. And Yardley doesn't want all guns banned, just only the ones that he doesn't use. But the issue with Yardley is that his opinion, it begrudges me to say this, but his opinion does mean a lot more, because he's well known within the industry, because he does have various credentials within the industry. When he says something like, we shouldn't have AR-15 style rifles, well, people sit up and listen, especially the antis, because they're going, well, hang on a minute, here's this shooter who's, well, he's on your side, and even he's saying you shouldn't have these guns. What they don't realise, he's a complete fuckwit and doesn't know what he's talking about at the time. And if he ever says that he was in the army, just remember that he didn't even make it through basic training. And this is the thing, is this is what I found absolutely bonkers. Like, actually, there's a lot of similarities between the Gun Control Network and Mike Yardley in terms of the lack of logic, because he basically calls anyone that takes part in practical shooting, or especially CSR, he calls them basically like Walter Mitties, people that are playing dress up, that are pretending that they're in the SAS, that they're pretending to be in the army or whatever, not forgetting that Mike Yardley is an aficionado on the Kennedy assassination and has recreated it many times. He's worked, I think he did something with the Discovery Channel. So you want to talk about fantasists and people who fantasize and role play with guns, and he's doing it regularly with an assassination of a US president. So, you know, there's me at Practical Shotgun shooting at a small steel plate, there's him shooting at a dress-up mannequin of JFK. Which one do you think is a little bit more worrying? You know, it's just backwards. But he's not been quiet. He's he posts something like 20 or 30 times a day. It's ridiculous. Like, I can't believe he thinks people actually care enough for him to be posting that much. But anyway, so he's not quite on his own page, but he hasn't, to my knowledge, he hasn't attacked our, you know, practical shooting recently. You'd know if he had. Paul Mags, prob's not a good idea to mention things like mass casualty weapons on stream. Like, oh, 1 minute. See, Gangster 88232. Let me just check something, because I might have to ban you. I'm in that sort of mood. So I think you would. This comment wasn't actually made public. It was actually captured. I've got various filters, because obviously I'm sure most of you know my issues with comments on my channel and the police beforehand. And I did see, is it the same user? Because I think he's just a troll. Yeah, Gangster 88232. Just double check that again if that's the same guy. Sorry guys, it's just a bit of stream admin going on. So here's what Gangster 88232 said. And this isn't a public comment, it was held for review. Fuck sport shooting, ban all guns, play football or find a useful hobby. Your activities are obsolete and they will be banned because we as a majority do not want this. You ends like dinosaurs, extinct, nothing personal. What do you think, guys? Should he be banned? You know the answer, don't you? Goodbye. How do I hide user on? Let's just do it. So he should now disappear into the oblivion of banhood. See you later. I just don't have time for it. Like, just fuck off. But anyway, the guy that the reason, you know, talking about mass casualty weapons, that's what, as I was just explaining, the gun control network we're using. It's not a term I've ever heard to describe any weapon. Never mind sporting rifles, you know, that's not a term that should ever in any way, shape or form be associated to anything we can own under a Section 1 or Section 2 license here in the UK. Which is why I made that video, because it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that they would use language like that. I mean, you know, assault rifle just seems to be commonplace now. I don't think we're ever going to get away from journalists that don't know any better, or, you know, just purposely trying to mislead people from using that term. But it's like, at least there is an assault rifle. You can buy an assault rifle. It's just incorrectly used to define a semi-automatic AR-15 or semi-automatic rifle. But mass casualty weapons, like, this could be a mass casualty weapon, you know? These could be a mass casualty weapon. Like, what is a mass casualty weapon? I mean, you know, I've got, don't ask, just don't ask. But that could be a mass casualty weapon. I mean, like, I'm surrounded by potential mass casualty weapons, you know, and I'm not even in the gun room, you know? It's like, well, anyway, I said I'd move on. Obviously, you can see that subject sort of touched a nerve. But anyway, no more messages from Gangster. Actually, I don't know if I've just banned him from the stream, but I'm going to just ban him from the channel completely. Hide user from the channel. He's popped up before, but not anymore. See Richie Bray saying he's training at home with an electronic training system for his rifle. And actually, on that note, again, we were talking about this, I think it was last week and the week before. A subscriber called John has very kindly sent me this. How awesome is that? So unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but I'm going to try and get out with it tomorrow, because I know that he's going to want to get it back. This is, I've seen loads of videos of these, I'm sure you have as well, across Facebook. The Mantis X10 Elite. What does it say on the back? Mantis X is a revolutionary shooting system that helps improve your shooting precision. While attached to a pistol or rifle, Mantis X analyzes your shooting mechanics, diagnoses issues, and coaches you on how to improve. I mean, it might be pushing it for me, but Mantis X10 attaches to any pistol, rifle, shotgun, or bow. That's pretty cool. With a rail or adapter used with live fire, dry practice, and airsoft. And it's an app, so I've seen it. It's, you know, in like a fraction of a second analyzes every part of your draw and your shooting. I'll show you what comes in the box. What's in the box? I mean, it's pretty Gucci, really. I am quite impressed with it. I will be doing a full review of it, but I just thought I'd show you guys. We've got the video. That's actually a video coming out, I think within a week or so. It's the point blank simulator, where we've got it set up. Again, if you guys want to come and play with it, we've got it set up in the studio, and that's it's a laser simulator. But that's I guess that's it. I mean, you get more. You've got like rubber shims, and that's what the sort of amount. But I think that is literally it. Oh, it flashes, turns on. Woo! But yeah, I will turn on the. How do you turn it off? There we go. It's off. I will be doing a full video on it because, you know, once I get my FAC back, I'm going to be doing a lot of long barrel pistol, and I do as much pistol shooting as I can out in the US. So working on that, and obviously it's a shotgun and rifle as well. So for me, the real test will be Connor's, because Connor's is like a certified UK PSA instructor. Like, he knows how to coach people. He was an Olympic 3-position coach for a while, so he knows how to coach. And basically, for me, he will be the truer test. Like, obviously, I will have my personal opinions of it, you know, how well it actually trains you, and if I notice an improvement using it. But I really want Connor's input on that, so perhaps we'll do that video together. But yeah, that's something to look forward to. I said I wanted to get hold of it, so thanks, John, for sending it down and trusting me with it. Unfortunately, it has sat there since it arrived. Do I have any other bits to... oh yeah, that's the thing. So this is you've probably seen this before, the Vortex Razor HD Gen 2 1:6 by 24. It's an awesome bit of kit. I mean, the glass on it, I mean, I know you're not really going to see... Oh, there we go. I got really big then. I don't know why that's so funny. It just is. Anyway, I'll stop dicking about. The only issue with this is that it's incredibly heavy, and whilst that at 1x magnification you can use it like a red dot, and the glass is like, whoa, and you just don't see any of the case when you get it right. It's just, I've always said it's like a portal. But I've put the Trijicon MRO HD on it. I'll be doing a full review of that, but it's unfortunately, well, I don't know, I might wait until the video. Really, there's some issues with it, and if you've seen any other reviews of it, it's got ghosting on the lens. There is also a wall of light with any reticle, and it is, unfortunately, it's Dan Smerald's optic, and we have been giving him a little bit of ribbing for it. At the end of the day, firstly, it's Trijicon. I expect, because of the name, for it to be flawless, and it's a £950 red dot. Regardless of the name on it, for £950 for a red dot, I expect the thing to sight itself and pull the trigger for you. And unfortunately, it's just got a few issues. Having said that, with the shooting that I've done with it so far, it's actually a really nice optic. So you know, when you get on with it, when you start engaging targets with it, you don't really see any of the flaws. If you were to put a magnifier behind it, which it's expected to do, which runs it up to about £1,500, that's Razor Gen 2 money, it's I can see it being even worse. But Daniel's happy with it. He was quite pleased with it. He is going back to Trijicon to just make sure that there isn't anything wrong with it. But from the reviews that I've seen online and about, unfortunately it's just part of the design, and I just can't. I genuinely can't. If that really is it, and I'm willing to eat my words. If that really is how Trijicon has designed it, and they've released it like that, like, it's not on, not for the name and not for the price that it's at. But actually shooting it's one of these weird ones that, you know, once you know it's there, you know it's there, and regardless of how well you actually shoot with it, if you know that there's an issue with it, or, you know, be that design or manufacturing fault, you know it's there, and it detracts from it. But I've been shooting fairly well with it, been getting good speed on the plate rack, and I have always liked the EOTech reticle, which is basically the other reticle. So the HD has the choice between a singular 2 MOA dot, or I think it's like a 68 MOA reticle, which is basically a carbon copy of the EOTech. And for people that have been watching the channel for a very long time, you would all know that I used to have an EOTech. I think it was the EOTech 552. It was the one with night vision. Not that I ever needed night vision, but just so happened to be the one with night vision. And I really liked the dot. It was before I actually got into practical shooting, and before I've learned what I've learned now. But I always thought it was great. Obviously, I know EOTechs have had problems. I never had problems with mine. Luckily, I sold it right before all of the issues came to light about EOTech. And funnily enough, I ended up making, I don't know, I think I've told this story before on the channel, but I ended up making money on that optic. I was living in London at the time for university, and I went into William Evans on, I think it's St James Street. Now, bearing in mind that's, you know, right in the heart of London. St James Street is an incredibly nice street. Let's say, you know, there's a champagne and caviar bar on the corner, and there's a cigar shop. Beretta's on the same road as well, and William Evans is a high-end gun maker. But if you go down into the basement there, they actually have a lot of sort of practical / tactical gear, and I walk in and they've got an EOTech. I'm like, bloody hell. And I think I ended up paying about $350 for it. $350, and that's what I realised. £350 for it, and I think I ended up selling it for like 400 plus, and I'd used it for a good year or so. So I ended up getting a really good deal on it. I don't think they, you know, because they specialize in sort of the high-end rifles and shotguns, I don't think they really understood what it was and how difficult at the time they were to get in the UK, because, you know, they were ITAR and all that, and they had some weird way that they did explain it to me how they got it in this country, because that was one of my questions. I was like, you shouldn't have this, and they're like, no, we do this and that and this and the other, and it comes through and it's all kosher. But yeah, they I think severely undervalued what that scope was, that site was worth. I picked it up, made some money. So yeah, I've always liked the EOTech, and the Trijicon HD does give you the best of both worlds. I don't know, you're gonna have to wait until the full review. I'm gonna see what Trijicon come back with, and sort of include that. But yeah, we'll wait and see. Can't really make a full decision on it until I know it's actually meant to be that bad, or whether there's there's a manufacturing issue with it. Oh, let me you guys are chatting. Yeah, the registration leads to confiscation. Like, the thing is, we've had some sort of record or registration for gun ownerships, like, since pretty much guns were affordable for the everyman. It's just, that's always been the way. And yes, they can't come and take guns away without knowing where they are. The thing is, that doesn't really hold true for me in the UK, because we don't have a Second Amendment. We don't. Yes, I know, I'm sure many of you are now going to comment, oh, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. I don't think that's a strong argument in my opinion. But you know, in my opinion, we don't have a right to a gun. It's very much been made clear by Hampshire Firearms Department that owning a gun in the UK is a privilege and not a right, and that's how I think most people perceive it. So the issue is that if the government look up and say, you know, we want to take all the guns, well, we don't have the right to be able to say no, because it's a privilege now. We would have to comply. In America, where you have the right to bear arms, the reason it's there is that if a government turns around and says to you, we're taking your guns, you can turn around and go, yeah, from the muzzle end first. It's just completely different. So I can understand the argument of registration leads to confiscation in America, where you have you know, a born right to your guns, but in the UK it's just different. And I know a lot of the American fans and subscribers of this channel just don't get our mentality. It's literally the best way to describe it. It's just different. We've had gun laws since 1927, I think it is, when the first one came in, maybe even before that. And you know, so going on for 100 years, we've always had some sort of legislation or some control or registration. You guys in America are different. That's why I know a lot of American subscribers don't get my mentality of licensing. You know, I believe the way that it works here in the UK, licensing works. I don't think licensing would ever work in the US. And I've said many times before, comparing the US and the UK and going, oh, that's what the UK did and that worked. Well, if you hadn't noticed, the US is quite different. You know, I don't think either argument or either mentality really crosses over very well, because we have, when it comes to guns, very, very different cultures and laws. Oh, my mum's getting a bit don't know what the right word is. Whatever I say, I know you're going to rip the shit out of me for it, but bloody progressive left-wing activists, let's ban them instead. Yeah, that's right, we should license left-wing activists. Yeah, we've got a bit political tonight, haven't we? Oh, that's a good. I was going to make a video on that. David said, "What's my thought on sponsored tutors?" Stephen Wolf, maybe Kyle works for Pepsi. Oh, we've found out, Kyle. Oh, it'd be more appropriate if you work for Coke, yeah. But no, it's just Pepsi paying. You know, every time Kyle donates, you know, I'll get another Pepsi. Only the best with Pepsi Max. But yeah, David, I was going to make a video on that, about sponsored tutors. I don't know, it's a bit laughable sometimes, isn't it? You know, what do you guys consider to be a sponsored tutor, right? Is, you know, because in the UK there seems to be two tiers. Well, no, there's 3 tiers. There's sponsored, and I will use sponsored tutors. There's sponsored tutors that are allowed to put logos on shirts. That's not a sponsorship in my mind. And then there's sponsored tutors that get either like freebies or like discounts. Now that I think's up for discussion. It depends. I don't think if you get necessarily discounts, that's a full sponsorship. To me, a sponsored tutor, and again I will be making a full video on this, to me a properly sponsored tutor is paid for once, for one. Like, that's a very clear-cut definition. But for me, moreover, sponsorship is about a partnership, and I was going to use Magload as the example in the video, which was, we have many sponsored tutors, and it's not always about necessarily being the best, but it's about what you can give. it's a relationship, it's reciprocal. For me, a sponsorship, a sponsored shooter and a sponsor, to be, classing yourself as a sponsored shooter, the shooter needs to be giving something to the sponsor, and the sponsor needs to be giving something to the shooting. Money is usually a good indication, but it doesn't just have to be that. It's not a one-way street. Some people think that, I get given freebies, therefore I'm a sponsored shooter. Well, it's like, are you actually giving something back to them? No. And I don't see that as a sponsorship. That company's just giving you some free swag. There's actually a really good interview with Dakota Overland on Gunroom TV. If you type in Dakota Overland on YouTube, it will come up. And she talks about it, and she talks about her sponsorship with JP. And she said, for her, it's important to have a good fit with her sponsor, because she wants to feed back information from them. She's shooting at a seriously high level, and it's through people like Dakota that is going to go back to JP and go, well, actually your rifles need this and this to be competitive, because it's always evolving. And of course, I'm sponsored with Blue Field Sports, and I don't have any issue saying I'm sponsored, because for me, I don't think it's up for debate. Alex pays me to do what I do, and he sponsors me in other ways, in equipment, in facilities, in trips and stuff like that, and funding me to go on various trips. But so yes, of course, you're probably going, oh, that's why you always plug Blue Field Sports. Well, no, there's a very big difference with our sponsorship. I support Blue Field Sports. I support what Alex's ethos and mentality and his goals are so much that I'm literally 10 steps away from Blue Field Sports. That's how eye to eye we see, and how I guess passionate both of us are about what each other is trying to do. So yeah, is Blue Field Sports awesome? Yeah, that's why I'm literally 10 steps away from the gun shop. That's why I'm here. That's why I have this relationship with Connors and Alex. That came out wrong. Connors and I have been in a secret relationship. I'm embarrassed to admit it. I've tried to keep it under wraps for so many years. That's why, I joined up with Alex, and have been part of Team Blue since, for over 2 years now, because since the very first meeting that we had together, it's like, he said, this is what I think, this is what I want to do, this is my ethos of things, and I'm like, finally someone else that gets it. Although, saying that, I've had a very good relationship with David Kiddle for a very long time. This just sounds bad. Anyway, because David and I see eye to eye, and that's why I support what Kentucky Firearms Club does, what Caliber Innovations does, what American Shooting Trips does, and Magload. Again, I believe in I was reviewing Magload products well before I'd actually ever met Connors, and I believe in Magload so much I got involved in the company. So that's where I think, for me, yeah, of course I'm a sponsored shooter, because I believe in the brand. I believe in the brand so much that I spend more time here than I do seeing my girlfriend or family, lockdown aside. So for me, that's what a sponsored shooter should be, is so passionate about that company, so passionate about that brand, that they will do absolutely everything to help that brand succeed and push forward. Not just, what free shit can I get? Take. It's a two-way, and you need to be able to give something, and they need to be able to give something back. Again, a very long, complicated answer to a fairly simple question. But I'll make a video. I'll make it a little bit more coherent and without professing my relationship with Connors. Anyway, let's move on. So we were talking about mass casualty weapons, and David Kiddle, John Wick killed 4 with a pencil. It's a mass casualty pencil, right? donut operator assault TV stand video. Hello. I haven't seen that one. Let me have a look at this. I'm not going to watch it now. It's like, I'm not going to put you through watching me watching a video, but I am going to bring that up, and I will watch it later. I love donut operator. There was a new one, tactical assault TV tray, and bork nom nom. Oh, that's my. No, I have seen it. I'll watch it again. I don't care. Love his videos. Guys, if you want a, like, this is a completely safe video, and this is always the one that I share to people because no one gets killed. Very nearly gets killed, but basically I've talked about Donut Operator before. I really like his channel. I like what he does. He takes a very, very sensitive, well, you know, he breaks down shootings, but the way that he does it I find absolutely incredible. I'm going to post a link to this video that you guys can go and watch later, or watch it now if you're bored of me. The bork nom noms are easily the best videos, but this one's titled Guy Takes a Smoke Break Before Getting the Bork nom nom, and it's like you're watching the video going, he's gonna get shot any moment. But here you go, guys. Here's the video. So go and watch that. If you've never seen Donut Operator before, go and watch that video. You won't regret it. Connors and I have watched it probably 20 times, and every single time we end up in tears. It's especially the owie, and you watch the video anyway. David Kiddle X10 Elite sounded like condoms. Well, there's only one condom. Oh, damn my tiny little arms. There's only one condom you'll ever need, David, and that's the Magload condom. Maybe I should give some of those out. Anyone interested in some Magload condoms? I mean, it is lockdown, right? What else are you going to do? Alan Belcher. I'm sorry, I butchered everyone's name. Would you support the licensing system be reformed for pistol that would have mandatory training that has to be completed before the grant of a license? Well, we already have that. I mean, you need to be a full member of a Home Office approved club to be able to get an FAC anyway, if you're going down the sport route. So that, you know, to become a full member, you have to do it depends on the club, but usually it's 3 or 6 months probational period, and they will stipulate that you have to attend a minimum amount of times down the range for training. So, you know, really that's within our law as it is. Now, pardon me, it's the refreshing Pepsi Max, by the way, guys. It's what I've talked about with people before is, what about bringing handguns back but keeping them locked at ranges? So, you know, you have to, you know, it can only be stored at an approved range. Now, I'd take that 100%. You know, do I think that we should be able to have one on a Section 1 license as we do all the other guns that are currently on there and keep them at home in our own safes? Absolutely. But I think that would be, you know, a compromise that most people would be willing to take. It's, yeah, you know, anytime you drive there, you know, at the moment there's obviously 7.3. I wouldn't want it to be as constricted as 7.3, but I would like to be able to, like, let's say, drive to Bisley, check it out like you would any other armoury gun, go down to the range, use it at your own leisure, just as long as at the end of the day, by the time you finish shooting, you go and return it, you're gravy. So it's yeah, that's the sort of thing I would like to see in terms of reform, and I believe that's what Bisley are trying to do with their Section 5 sporting licenses. There's a number of Olympic hopefuls that are that they've got Section 5 through the NRA, and they're sport shooting with them. And, you know, Andrew Mercer, we said this a few years ago and nothing seems to really have come of it, but anyway, he said, oh, we've got 20 and next year we're going to go for 50 and then it will be 100, and they were going to try and grow it out. And I think that's where we could see something like this, keeping it at a range thing, sort of you know, come through fruition, basically. Did I see the Razer Gen 3? It looks really good. Yep, I managed to see it at the British Shooting Show. Alex has 2 on order at Bluefield Sports. When they come in, one of them or 2 of them might have already been taken, but anyway, they will be coming in here as soon as they do. As long as, well, if they've both been pre-sold, I might have to ask very, very nicely to the customers that have paid for them or have put their name down for them, whether I can take one for a review. If they haven't been previously sold, well, you know, preemptively sold, then I'll ask Alex very, very nicely and see if I can take one out and do a full review of it. I mean, it did actually have some sort of funny, I thought it was like bleed from the reticle, but it's not. And unfortunately, the guys at Country Sports Wholesales didn't know about this feature, but I talked to Bentley Parsons of Vortex UK. And basically, when if you watch the video when I'm actually at the shooting show, there were these weird, like, it's like the reticle wasn't complete, and basically it's markers so that you know where you're at night. So when you can't actually see the reticle, there were these slight changes in it. So, and anyway, that was the only thing that initially put me off, because I didn't really know what that was there for, and I thought it was a defect, but it was common between both of the models that they had there. At the end of the day, I'm a huge fan of the Vortex. I'm a huge fan of Vortex, huge fan of the Vortex Razors, and you can't complain having more magnification. Whether or not at the moment that's going to make a huge difference to me, I mean, you know, that's on a 2.2 rifle most of the time when I'm not reviewing Shittercon optics. That's for you, Dan. But you know, that's my go-to scope. A 2.2. Do I need a 10 power for a 2.2? No. But then talking to the likes of Ben Ducker, who's a serious competitive shooter, was part of the GB Rifle World shoot team. You know, shoots all over the world in 3 guns, had loads of success. He's sold both of his Gen 2s and got Gen 3s straight away, because for him, shooting regularly 223 ARs out in the States, that 10 power at 300-400 yards, which you can get in a 3-gun match or even an IPSC match, that times 10 power makes a huge difference. So yeah, I mean, I really want to get hands-on with one, and luckily having the Gen 2, I'll be able to literally compare them side by side, so I should be able to give a fairly good review, and I know that scope like the back of my hand, so we should see what happens with that. But as soon as they're here, obviously with everything going on at the moment, they've delayed the release of that, and yeah, but as soon as they're here, as soon as we've got one, I'll do a review. Again, guys, I'm just going through all of your comments, catching up on what you guys have been saying. So I've sort of lost the thread of this conversation, what you guys were talking about. But someone's saying, I'm guessing if it isn't used by the US military, it wouldn't be covered by ITAR. Now this is it's dodgy ground, but they're actually relaxing the ITAR or completely removing it, so that shouldn't be an issue going forward. But also ITAR is very, very funny. So technically this could be considered ITAR, because if someone in the army of the US uses it, and technically it's military, but it predominantly, you know, it's got the JM Pro reticle, whatever they call it. It's a sporting scope, you know. It's got the JM reticle. Jerry Michalak, he's not in the army, so it's just because something's used in the military doesn't necessarily classify it as as ITAR. I think it's more if it was designed specifically for the military and then it's been sort of, it's been leaked out to civilian use. It's like EOTech. EOTech, their main focus is military and police, and that's why they're ITAR, because ITAR looks at it and goes, no one could ever legitimately want to use one of these for sport because they're designed for military, but it's a funny old game, ITAR. Where I used to work, we actually had to worry about it quite a bit, because we dealt with police and military, and we were taking gear backwards and forwards. But luckily we were able to get all sorts of exemptions for it. And, but ITAR is an absolute pain. I think when I was going out for the last trip and I took the scope out there, if you read the ITAR regulations, it does say stuff like optical devices, scopes. And it depends how stringently you want to read it, because technically, like, any scope is obviously an optical device. So, but then it has caveats like if it's used for sport, if it's designed for sport, and I would argue, like, technically Magpul AR grips are ITAR, but then I would have the argument, well, they're actually commonplace on sporting rifles. I mean, you can get the Magpul Smith & Wesson 1522. This 1522 is not a military rifle. So, but at the end of the day, if you come up against the wrong customs officer or whatever, you could be in a lot of trouble. I mean, I had issues with my quad loader. I had the Nexus 12 magload quad loader, and this was when we went out to Utah in 2018, and they really didn't like it. And I was like, they were fine with the scope, but they didn't like the quad loader, and it's just like, but it's like, it's inert. Like, unless I've got the gun and the ammunition, like, this is literally the thing you should be worried about least. And that's right, they didn't have much of a problem with the scope, but they really didn't like the mount. And I'm like, I ended up spending about half an hour at the security desk, and he kept calling his supervisor back and forth, and it's just like, even the supervisor in the end was a bit like, oh, and can you guess what state this transfer was in? Go on, guess where I had all these issues. And I'll make it really easy. It wasn't California. It's the other one. But yeah, it's luck of the draw. I mean, when David and I got caught up in customs a few years ago, they ended up taking his I think it was a CMC trigger off of him, whereas John and I, whilst we were in there for 5 hours, we left there with every single bit. The disparity is incredible. And it's like, on that particular incident, they really didn't like the speed loaders for the revolver speed loaders. And again, it's like, that's just that, it's not even a part of the gun, it just helps you load it faster. Oh, load it faster, mass casualty weapon. Anyway, Carl M, stroke your beard in the style of the famous English painter David Hockney, with a particular emphasis to his late 1960s A bigger splash for influence, and whatever you do, don't mess this up. Can I get back to you on that one? Who even is David Hockney? I'm not very cultured, am I? I'm an engineer, like, arts. What happens if I put David... He doesn't even have a beard. What? David Hockney. I'm going to type in David Hockney beard and just see... This could be a really bad Google search. No, it doesn't have a beard. I mean, technically, if I'm going to do it... Or in the start, okay. So you basically, well, he does a lot of like portrait poses. So I guess, is that good enough? Is that the style you were looking for? There we go. Anyway, back onto what we were talking about. Just slowly catching up. David Kiddle, as Vortex USA's only sponsored UK shooter, I can tell you a lot about sponsorship. But then David, you give back. You know, your Vortex banners are all your matches. You tell everyone how great they are. I mean, you pretty much do everything I do. So maybe, you know, put in a good word for me. It's about give and take, sponsorship. Like, you got to give, and you've got to be able to take. I should just shut up. Mud test review Gen 3 before shipping to customer. Daniel, so apparently you've got a Gen 3 on your AR in Kentucky. Can we destruction test it? Test that VIP warranty from Vortex. I keep on saying that the only thing that the Trigicon's good for is a destruction test, and Daniel's not particularly happy with that. Any optic that can accept night vision or thermal as ITAR, but then you can get things that go on the back of scopes that are night vision. So how does that work? You know, it's so technically, you know, you buy one of those, you can make any scope ITAR. You know, like, or you can make any scope night vision. You know, just by putting a device on the back of it. So I don't know. It was actually Chicago. It was Chicago that I had all the issues. Well, the main issues that I had when I spent 5 hours in customs, that was UK side, but that's because I don't know anything about guns. But the issues with the quad loader and the scope and the mount was Chicago. There's also, I'm pretty sure I've told you guys this before, but Ryan with the hunting knife. That was Chicago as well. Well, it was Chicago that we ended up transferring it from his hand luggage to his hold luggage. So we, but basically completely innocent mistake. We got onto the plane to go to Utah in 2018, and Ryan's like 3 or 4 rows back, and I'm just sat there. You know, it's gonna be a long flight, just chilling, getting comfortable. The phone starts buzzing. Right, the plane's still sat on the runway, people still boarding. Callum, I've got a problem. Yeah, what? I've got a knife. Well, okay, why the fuck are you telling me this? Well, I don't know what to do. Should I do something? I'm like, what, with the knife? I'm like, no. He said, well, should I go and tell an air stewardess? Absolutely not. Like, no. Just don't get that idea out your head straight away. Like, how would that conversation go? Oh yeah, I just so happened to bring this on a plane. But yeah, if you haven't heard it before, he ended up getting, I mean, it wasn't actually, I've got one, let me just reach behind, I've got a desk organizer behind here. It wasn't actually well, it was longer than that, right? So he managed to get a knife bigger than that in his hand luggage, onto a plane, no problem whatsoever. And it completely by mistake. And the reason it happened is because the bag that he was using for hand luggage was actually his stalking bag. It's always the bag that he took to when he went out stalking, and just completely forgot. You know, it happens. I'm sure as shooters, occasionally you get caught short with things that are in your bag that you've forgotten about, usually 2.2 or 9mm, and you know, completely honest mistake, and like he just cacked his pants, as I can imagine like you would. I mean, he was 17 at the time. I could, you know, had visions of him being, you know, taken off the plane and strapped to a chair in a room with men with rubber gloves. But you know, he, yeah, go and grab the air stewardess? No, absolutely not. And yeah, we got to Chicago. So after I finally got, oh no, that's right. So I got out of security, got the bags, and it was like we all formed a huddle around Ryan, and very surreptitiously in the airport, it's like, right, get the knife out of the bag, into the hold luggage, and then let's get rid of that. So yeah, these things happen, but just what. In some ways, I would have liked to have seen what would have happened if the scanners had picked it up, because I was his adult supervision for that trip, because he was, you know, 17, so I was his guardian for the trip. I could just imagine, you know, them pulling a knife out of the bag and going, how do you explain this then? But you know, you get a nice big hunting knife through the scanners, but like hell can you get water through there? Like even if your bag's a little bit damp from outside, you struggle to get it through the scanners. It all sort of makes it a bit pointless, really, when you can get knives on board like that. Like, not that I think if you actually purposely tried to do it, you would get away with it. It just so happened that he managed to do it. But anyway, yeah, that was eventful. Stephen Wolf saying, I remember the Obama administration tried to say that if you were in the USA, you can't share gun schematics since they were covered under ITAR. Well, Defence Distributed sort of put a stop to that, didn't they? It's like, you can't put schematics for the gun online. Upload. Sorry, what? So yeah. Craig Mack, can you legally run around town stabbing pigeons? I'm very worried. I mean, could you even get close enough to a pigeon to stab it? I'm going to say no on that one. I think that's a safe no. If you go around town stabbing pigeons with a knife, you're probably going to end up getting arrested pretty soon. Just that brings all sorts of horrible images. You can fly with most things. The TSA are absolutely useless. I feel like I have a very different experience flying than you. Well, the thing is, I'm probably on so many watch lists thanks to David Kiddle. Although I've never had any issues with customs since. I've flown a few times back and forth from the States since that trip, and luckily it's been pretty smooth. But yeah, you never know. We'll see what happens, right? But yeah, I think is that about it. I think, well, I've covered all the points that I wanted to cover tonight. I think, apart from talking about stabbing pigeons, it looks like all of you guys have dried up. So I'm probably gonna call it there. Or let's just see. I'll give you guys any last questions before I go. And if not, then I'll probably head off. I see Stephen Wolf, he's off. Thanks for joining, Steve. Thanks to everyone for joining, especially Daniel, and Craig and Richard and Xbox One Geeks and David, all the contributors and donators, and Nick as well from World Gun Owners Association. There's been a few of you tonight. Absolutely mental. Again, everything goes to help the channel, so you know, I'm appreciative because it helps me produce better videos for you guys. Let me, oh god, well, I'm gonna have to wait around to see what sort of things you've been able to get on a plane. There is another story. I don't know technically. No. I'm gonna leave it for now. But that I do have another absolutely cracking story, but I need to check if it's, you know, what's the what's the legal term? Basically the period where you can't be arrested. I don't know if we have that in the UK. Like, basically, if a certain period of time has passed, you can you can't get arrested for it. I'll find out what that is, because you know, I don't want to get anyone in trouble. Paul from World Gun Owners Association, are we going stalking anytime soon? Well, technically we can. It is outdoors. As long as it's just you, I don't think it would. Unfortunately, sorry, Nick. You know, it's got to be just two people. But yeah, drop me a message. We'll sort something out. I mean, technically there's nothing wrong. Ryan, this will make you jealous, Paul. Ryan actually invited me out on Monday to go stalking, and I was very, very close to doing it because I've told you guys before how much I want to learn more about that side of shooting. Until he told me that I would need to meet him at the gun room at 4:30 in the morning. I literally don't go to bed much before that. Like I'm very much a night owl, and I was like, no. Well, anyway, he ended up going out and on his first solo stalk ended up getting a 6-pointer. So yeah, I missed out on that one. But then I said to Ryan, actually, there's some venison in the fridge for me that I need to take home. So thanks for reminding me on that. But yeah, very, very jealous that I wasn't there. But I said to Ryan, look, the chances are if I had been there, you probably wouldn't have got it. So there's that. Smerald, when will you do a video on competition belt setup and options on the market? Soon. I mean, obviously there's always different belts that you can set up, you know, shotgun belt, 3-gun belt, IPSC pistol, IPSC rifle, IPSC airsoft, although that should be technically very similar to the pistol setup. Yeah, I can do that if you guys are interested in seeing my setup. I mean, the shotgun belt is just going to be a big plug for Magload, because like everything on my shotgun belt is Magload. But again, that's not just because I'm involved with a company and I'm, you know, good friends with Connors. I've believed in Magload for a very long time. Anyway, so you had a bunch of 9mm spent cases in my backpack case, well, because I went shooting the day before and dropped a few onto it. Oh dear. I actually had one. I was getting a tube because the range that I used to go to was at London Bridge, and I'd finished the day shooting. I had gone to, oh that's right, I stood on the tube, and obviously if you've ever been on London Underground, it gets very humid and sort of steamy down there. So I got on at London Bridge and I'm sweltering, I'm waiting for the tube, and I was like, I'm gonna have to take my hoodie off. And I take my hoodie off, and as I do that, all of these 2.2 cases fall on the floor, and it's like I pause and I look around and there's some lady like and it was like, whoop, like straight down on the floor, like picking them up frantically, like shove them in my pocket. Tube comes, get on the tube, and it's just like, well, I think I got away with it. Yeah, cases get absolutely everywhere, especially 2.2 or 9mm. And then once you were flying out of the US and the TSA said they were not allowed to check my bags, and just let me go through without checking my bags, just does make it farcical. If you've ever flown if anyone's ever been to Rhodes, the Greek island, their security is, let's just say, less than adequate. It's actually quite worrying, because you think, well, I can easily see several flaws of how I would be able to get something past them, and I'm about to get on a plane with like 100 other people. So anyway, Xbox One Geeks off again. Thank you very much for the support, and thanks for tuning in and watching. Craig Matt, does a muzzle device add to the barrel length? Yes. If you're talking about does it count towards the overall length, if it's pinned, yes. If you can't easily remove it, and that definition is grey, because, you know, technically if you had it pinned or soldered, it could be removed, but not easily. So I know with the Dissident Arms, I was actually talking with Ben Ducker the other day, who owns a KL12, a very orange one, and if you want to see that one in action, actually there's a good video on Gunroom TV that was released, the latest video of the Borders UK PSA level 3 shotgun match. It's the big orange gun, and his wife shoots it as well, which is amazing because they both share this gun. But anyway, he was saying that the barrels from Dissident Arms come as standard as a 19-inch, but they actually have to solder and pin a muzzle brake onto it to make it, I think it's 24 inches into, so it's like a 5-inch muzzle brake. So because it's soldered and pinned, it can't be easily removed, therefore it is part of the barrel, and therefore makes it UK legal. So an example, the Magload 3D printed muzzle brakes on the 50, well, it's a 1/2-inch UNEF thread, so it fits any AR-15, but if you screw that onto your gun, well, you can just screw it off, so that's never gonna basically count for the barrel length. I think that's what you were asking. I hope I've explained that correctly. Statute of limitations, that's it. Only applies for summary only offence, not for, that's very legal and very wordy for me. Dictatorial oh, I'm not even going to try anyway. Oh, just why did you, Carl, why are you why are you hiding Richie? Like, Richie's good, don't hide Richie. No, don't time him out, untime out. Hide user, no, oh, sorry Richie, it wasn't me, it was Carl. Carl, why have you hidden him? Carl's one of the mods, by the way. Like, Richie genuinely has a wheelchair, he's not joking about that. I've met him, there's a really good video on Gunrun TV about him shooting 10-meter rough wear. Anyway, I don't think he said anything bad enough to get a timeout, unless you've just got something against people in wheelchairs, which is, I think, really unfair. But anyway, David Kiddle, your USA 3-gun belt setup would be helpful for those coming on the trip. Yep. Well, yeah, that's a good point, actually. I mean, my 3-gun. Yeah, don't worry about it, Carl. Richie's got a good sense of humour. Don't worry. But he's probably there like 300 seconds. How? That's like 5 minutes, isn't it? Yeah, I'm probably going to be gone. Carl, you penis. Let's show that. Yes, Carl did an oopsie. Oh, you put your phone in your pocket. Oh, okay, so it wasn't deliberate. I was thinking that was a bit weird. I was like, you didn't say anything. So sorry, Richie. I know you can't comment, but no, Carl, it wasn't an accident. You just got a thing against people in wheelchairs, haven't you? You mean bastard. Yeah. So you know, my 3-gun setup, because I rarely go out and do like full 3-gun. It's more in the UK and it's more 2-gun. But we can do something. I mean, I've got my mag pouches and holsters and stuff like that. So yeah, if you guys would be interested in that, I'll do my belt setup, and especially for those wanting to know what to take out on the American shooting trips. But anyway, I think I'm gonna shoot off now. Pun intended. But yeah, sorry Richie. Hope you join next week when you're not put in the naughty corner by Carl's pocket. Yeah, English shooting hunting special, we will do that either with Ryan or Paul. I like big parking spots. Brilliant. Oh dear. Anyway, I can feel this is going downhill. But yeah, so Paul luckily is a more I would say sympathetic stalker, that he usually goes in the afternoon, whereas Ryan gets up on ungodly hours. But anyway, I will sort something out. I will go stalking. I will do a hunting special, and you'll see how little I know about stalking and all that and hunting. But yeah, we do more of it. Connors and I have said that we want to get out on the pigeons soon, so again, I'll try and vlog that, try and show you guys what we get up to. But anyway, again, I'm gonna call it a night for tonight. So before you go though, hit that thumbs up button. Really does help the channel. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you've enjoyed this chat tonight, hit subscribe. We do one every single week, on a Thursday, 7 PM, sometimes 7:30. And yeah, support the channel, subscribe, like it. Thank you everyone for the donations tonight. Thank you everyone for joining in and joining the conversation. And I will see you guys next week at 7 o'clock, usual time, same place. So yeah, looking forward to it. So again, thanks for tuning in, and as always guys, I hope to see you soon.